Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Deep True Crime. I'm Manny Rodriguez. In today's episode, we're diving into the case of Rachel Morin, who has been taken from this world at a very young age. The worst part, they have not identified or even may have any suspects at this time. And so we continue to learn more about this, but what we don't know is why or how can anyone do such a heinous crime to the 37-year-old mother of 5 who was found dead on a Maryland hiking trail over the weekend, and we find that she was beaten to death and left naked by her killer. Now, her lifeless body, it was discovered in a drain in a tunnel on the scenic Ma Heritage Trail in Bel Air, Maryland, after being reported missing on Saturday night. And so a local man who has been identified as Michael Gabriszeski had joined the search for the missing mom along with his stepdaughter, Cecilia. Now, Cecilia, she was friends with Rachel. And so there was a community of people looking for the missing mom of 5. And so Michael, he says to his daughter, we need to go and help find this young mother of 5. And I'm paraphrasing in some sorts, but they go, and her friend Evan, who is friends with Cecilia, and they're, it's a community of people looking for Rachel. And then he comes across her remains on Sunday. And remind you, she's reported missing Saturday night. I'll give you a quick recap of the timeline. So Saturday, August 5th at 6 p.m., Rachel is last seen heading out to run on the Ma Trail in northern Maryland. At 11:23 p.m., the boyfriend of Rachel reports her missing after she does not return home. So police, they begin searching for Rachel on the trail and the surrounding areas that Saturday. It wasn't until Sunday, August 6th, about 1 p.m., that a body of a female victim located off of the Ma Trail is reported to police. Who comes across? Michael does. And August 7th, which is a Monday now, police confirmed that the body that was found on the trail is that of Rachel Morin. And so they're asking for tips. They're asking for any leads. Police say that they've received over 100 tips from the public regarding the case of Rachel Morin, many of which have been helpful in the investigation is what they're sharing. Sheriff Jeffrey Gaylor, he said in a video that was posted to Facebook yesterday, Wednesday, August 9th, some of your tips have been very promising and tremendous in advancing the investigation and bringing us closer to getting the answers that we need. And Mr. Gaylor, he asked that people continue to send in all the tips, even if to you they may seem minuscule. Because truth is, there is no tip that is too small. I was watching the Facebook page and I saw them responding to comments that to you, it may not seem like a big deal. And they said, even if it's something that you might think is insignificant, that might be the key piece of evidence or information that we are looking for. And that's where it's like, even the boyfriend had been questioned by police, and he too has been taken to social media and spoke out. Police in the Harford County Sheriff's Office, they had questioned her boyfriend, Richard Tobin. And there was not much yet at this time, but of course, they're not going to share too much either. But the local man, Michael Gabriszeski, he and his stepdaughter, Cecilia, and her friend, they all join the search. And in an interview, he shared that, he's a Native American tracker. That's something that he loves to do. He likes to track. And so he was putting his skill set to use. And he said that they decided to go check 2 drainage tunnels. That's what they shared. 2 drainage tunnels and to see like there might be something there because no one knew what was going on, and so they go check the 2 tunnels, and there was a bunch of people that were also part of the search. Now this image that you're looking at right now on your screen, this was the walk to help find justice. This was after things have been, come to light and shared, and but again, no suspects at the time. The park has been closed as they continue the investigation into this. And so this is the Ma and Pa Heritage Trail. Now, in this trail, this is well known by the local community. This community is said to be a safe community. And here go the 2 drainage tunnels on the trail in Hartford County. And he notices, there's some disturbances on the ground close to the track where the fitness buff had taken a walk that night. And so he says his stepdaughter, Cecilia, was the first person to see the body. She was hyperventilating really, really bad. And then the police told her to sit down. When she sat down, she realized she was sitting in a big pool of blood. Again, this is what Michael is sharing about his stepdaughter. This was in an article on dailymail.com, and actually his sharing was on multiple places of this, not just Daily Mail. But Daily Mail shared an exclusive, and I'm sharing some of that article, not all of the whole thing. But he says that she was laying on her back fully naked and she had brutal head trauma. It looked like her head had been smashed in with a rock. And if you think about his words that he described there, that does not sound like someone just came across a pretty girl and said, I'm gonna smash her head in. It almost looks like it was intentional. They were out to harm her. That's my thought process. But the sheriff also spoke along those lines. And so this is a brutal, brutal taken of what they've done. And Michael shares that there was a 15 to 20 foot blood trail. So it looked like she had been beaten and dragged into that position. It looked like the killer was trying to erase her identity. That is what Michael, the 48-year-old, had added. He said the right side of her face was gone. And my apologies, as I share this, I should have put a warning, graphic details. I'm sorry if you tuned in at this time. I should have put that at the very beginning. My deepest apologies. My deepest, deepest apologies. And while I'm at it, this is not about me. This is about Rachel Morin sharing her story, sharing what we have found about Rachel. Because truth is, Rachel deserves justice. Who could do this? Now, a separate source close to the family had shared that the young mother had suffered serious head trauma. So this is not the first time that we're finding out about head trauma. But what we are finding out is from the alleged people who came across her body first. And the source had shared that the injuries were so horrific that there won't be an open casket at her funeral. That is what was shared about the discovery of Rachel Morin. And as I shared, there were locals that were participating in the community walk as they were going out and sharing what it is that, who could do such a thing? I'm not too sure how I got onto that screen, but who could share such a thing? We don't really know. But what we do know is that the body of Rachel Morin has been discovered in the most heinous way. And what we don't know is why would anyone do this? Because Rachel deserves justice. And as we continue to find out more, I will continue to share because I truly believe they're going to find out who did this. Now, as I shared, locals they were seen participating in a community walk along the Ma and Pa Trail in Bel Air, Maryland on Tuesday during this investigation. Now, there is the Harford County Sheriff's Office. They're sharing what little bit that they can, but they decline to comment on the nature of how Morin was killed. Now, as you hear Michael's side of how she was discovered, that shares also that it looks like it was really bad trauma to her head, if this is accurate. Now, police, they're asking for any help. And with the help, we don't really know outside of that, right? Because we continue to hear that, you know, we don't really know too much on this. I again messed up there. Sometimes the luxury of live is you're going to make mistakes live. And so the police, they're asking for any help in this particular case because there's going to be footage out there. There's going to be more tips that keep coming in. There has to be video footage somewhere along the trail, on the way to the trail. And if there is anyone in this area, they're asking you to please, if you were on the Ma and Pa Trail on Saturday or near the trail or trailheads and took photos or video, we are asking if you would please share them with investigators. There could be something helpful in one of your photos that might bring us one more piece of the puzzle. And this is why it's so key to always be alert of your surroundings. What could go wrong, you just never know. But there is this post that is going out there. I'm going to share with an asterisk. I have not verified this post. I question the legitimacy of this post. And I question it, and I cannot debunk this. I cannot prove this, but I've seen this on multiple places out there, and I'm asking you, the public, to please help me. Could this be possibly true? Because when there's someone is like, it seems like a buddy of the boyfriend, Richard Tobin. And in my last video, I said, right now, I don't feel that Richard Tobin has anything to do with this. Since my video, I've had two questions that have entered my mind, and I want to ask your thoughts on it. This is a new relationship. I don't believe they live together. You know, she goes for a walk at 6. At 11 p.m., he is phoning to the 911 and saying, what happened? I don't know what happened to my girlfriend. She goes for a walk. I've not heard from her since. If I'm in a new relationship, I'm thinking of myself because obviously before I got married, I've had, girlfriends, right? So I'm thinking to myself, if I'm in a new relationship and at 6 o'clock, I know that my girlfriend goes for a jog on the local trail. At 11 o'clock, I don't hear from her. I don't see me calling 911 yet. It's a new relationship. You know, she's a mom of 5 kids. Why would I be worried at 11 o'clock just that night if I have not heard back from her? It's a new relationship. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. But then I come across this message. Again, I do not know the legitimacy, and I even apologize if this upsets you that I'm sharing it without knowing the legitimacy. But if this is truly a text between Richard Tobin and a friend, I don't know, Eddie Lund, or if Eddie Lund did the screenshot off of someone, I don't really know. But I hope she shows up, man. I'm sorry. This is from the friend to allegedly Richard Tobin. And then he says at 1:58 p.m. they found her. His first comment is she alive? I guarantee you, if this is a true text, he's a suspect. They're just not naming him yet. If this truly is, because we always know everyone's a suspect until they find who really did it. They're not naming any suspects, but I guarantee you they're keeping an eye on this new relationship of hers. And again, I'm not throwing him out there as the person. What I am sharing are my two thoughts. If he's the one that reported her missing that day of, right? Again, new relationship, 6 p.m. She goes for she goes around that time for a jog. 11 p.m. he's reporting her missing. Again, new relationship, mother of five. She would be busy with her kids. I'm not going to be worried. It's a new relationship. So unless they live together, she doesn't come home. Unless he reaches out to kids, mom hasn't been home, I'm worried. That's also a different story. We don't know everything. But, I would feel that someone else would have been reporting her missing. But, we don't know. Everything's going to be hush hush for a little bit. But if this is a true text, why is his first response, is she alive? And the guy even calls him out, which also is like, why would you ask if she's alive, bro? Suspect as, like, your friends can be pretty brutal too sometimes, but so these are little things that have got me questioning things about Richard Tobin. I really don't think that he's involved. I really don't think. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, even though you can look into his past and be like, man, there are some shady things, and he's admitted it as well. So, along this popular trail, there's a lot of people that go along this trail, and now there's a little worriness around this trail. But the police are asking to please, if you know anything. They've received over 100 texts. And so that's why they're trying to figure out what is going on here. Now, officials at Harford County Sheriff's Office in Bel Air, which is about 45 miles north of Baltimore, said they still are without any leads on possible suspects. So normally everyone's a suspect. So I feel like they're not saying anything just to keep, anyone's guards down. I truly believe they have some people on their radar. This is a mom of five. We've not heard about any ex at all. We've not heard about multiple ex. We don't really know too much yet. But the local police, they're not sharing on how she died, but her family says she did not go willingly and that her death was not accidental. This was intentional. And so, we know about the new boyfriend who went to social media on Sunday to insist he had nothing to do with her killing, despite his criminal past. Again, they only made this relationship official on social media 4 days earlier. With that being said, I question why he would be involved and would do anything like that. I mean, unless he is just this guy who flies off the handle out of left field and could do something of this, it's hard for me to see how he could do something. So I'm kind of I'm playing both sides here. Like, this question is on the back of my mind. But then, when I look at it this way, I write him off. So I'm sharing both. I want to know what your thought process is as well. I would love to hear your thought process on this. And so when you think about how this can even stay in that, you also think like, hey, we also want to know, why would anyone do this? The mother, beautiful mother of five, only 37 years old. My guess is there is somebody that was angry about this new relationship, is my guess. Again, I like to play detective. That's why I started this true crime channel. So I'm going to play detective a little bit. Forgive me if you don't really like that. But that is kind of something that I like to do. But what I want to know is why does it, why are so many people quick to blame Richard Tobin? There's not much there yet to even verify. So I question why anyone, I just don't see it yet. Do you see it yet? So what do you think about that? What do you think in reference to that? But this is a new relationship. This is why I say, why would he be the one to have called it in? Which to me is part of my red flag scenario on that. I'll be honest. That's kind of my red flag in this, trying to figure out, hey, what's that about? Why didn't the family call it in? But this is also part of playing detective, right? And so we're just still trying to figure out who could do this. Could it be Richard Tobin? What could it be, an ex? But let's be real. Someone knows something about this. But here's my thought process. There is videos out there. There is videos out there for sure. And what is this video going to show? What is this video going to show? Hartford Sheriff, they're saying, please, if you were on the Ma and Pa Trail on Saturday or near the trail or trailheads and took videos or photo as I shared, please send it to Sergeant Maddox at Maddox C at Hartford. No T. I've seen a lot of media misspell Hartford and add the T. No T. HartfordSheriff.org. Again, at the end of the day, Rachel deserves justice. This is not about me. This is about getting justice for Rachel. And the sheriff, he says they're going to find this coward. Literally, sheriff, he called out this heinous coward who killed the mom of 5. And so I can tell you, even though they don't know who did this exactly, they've got somebody or some people on their radar. They're just not sharing in this. Hartford County Sheriff Jeffrey Gaylor, cognizant of a community on edge because he knows everyone is wondering. They've put extra patrol out there at the trail. They put extra eyeballs on the trail. And he went on Wednesday, just yesterday, to provide an update on where this investigation is at. He didn't get too specific about what his deputies have learned so far. Again, they have to keep people on the thought process. Like, we don't know a lot of this yet. They do have a team of detectives, forensic investigators, and crime analysts that have been working around the clock to put all this together and create that comprehensive timeline of the days, hours, minutes, and seconds before Rachel died. That's what the sheriff said. And he even said, in addition, some of the more than 100 tips submitted by the public have been promising. And I shared that with you earlier, so I'm not going to repeat it. But I do want to repeat that, hey, nothing is too small. Even if you think, man, I know that guy all the time, he has nothing to do with it, send it friggin' in. You know what I mean? And truth is, they say that there's not really a threat, but you should still be a little bit in fear, right? Because many people are nervous and concerned that there might be someone in our midst preying on women. That's what the husband and father of 2 daughters said. He understands those fears. That's the sheriff. And he says that, authorities, they're proactively patrolling at both ends of the hiking trail to not have much fear. You're not in any threat, is what they're saying. That's basically what they're saying. You're not in any threat to this at all. And so what we really don't know at the time is like, okay, we're not in a threat, but what we do want to know is, where is this going to be, right? Because we don't really know more outside of that at all. But we do know that this girl deserves justice. Last seen alive, goes missing, reported missing. They find her car that was found parked at a trail entrance on William Street in Bel Air. So if you have any video footage around that area, Rachel's car was located at the William Street entrance in Bel Air. And so, if you were around that trail that morning and you saw anything suspicious, they're asking you to please call 911. Rachel, 5'2", petite, 107 pounds. Is 5'2" petite? I don't know. For a female, is that petite? I don't really know. But 5'2" is definitely 5 inches shorter than me, and I'm kind of short. So, 107 pounds, blonde hair, blue eyes, last seen wearing a blue or black tank top, black shorts bra, sports bra, black spandex shorts, and gray sneakers. Please call it in. My friends, this has been another episode of Deep True Crime. I do want to share with you that in the last time I covered this story, we talked about someone who was missing in the nearby area. Seen right here is the boyfriend. I do want to say that she was found safe. Karen Elliott has been found. There was no threat to her life. There was nothing there. She's alive and well. And I just wanted to give that update on that as well. I'm Manny Rodriguez. This has been another episode of Deep True Crime. Until next time, my friends.